It's time to raise the roof for our first regular season podcast of 2026. Happy opening day, everyone. This is our Raise the Roof 2026 season preview.
Baseball
I'm
New Year.
baseball New Year. It's such a beauty. It's like Christmas and all the other holidays combined.
Yeah. I mean, it's only off for like 4 months, really. I mean, we only get a break for baseball. So, I mean, that's the thing my girlfriend complains about the most is that she feels like baseball's on year round. And she's not entirely wrong. She's not entirely wrong. But
Is that
also,
something to
it
complain
is
about, though?
exactly. I mean, I don't complain about it, but she's gonna
It's a
complain
beautiful
about it.
time.
But
It's a
yeah,
beautiful time though. Welcome back to the pod, everyone. I'm your host, Alex Murphy. The boys are here, Evan Lynch and Gibby. We're all here because it's opening day. What a beautiful time! Like,
beautiful
it's
time.
just the best time of the year. Like, how are you guys feeling right now?
I mean,
National
other than the
holiday,
Yan
right?
yeah, I mean, other than the Yankees winning, I'm pretty good, you know. Yeah, but I mean, Logan Webb put up a stinker yesterday. Oh my God, what a fucking bozo he was.
Yeah, I mean, he was bad. Aaron Judge went like 0 for 4.
Yeah,
Also very funny.
it
Um,
was not the kickoff event we wanted,
dude,
but it's the one we got.
Netflix put on like you literally there was the tweet or the photo that went viral of the one thing of the game with the Adobe sign being brighter than the actual like image on the field, and it was like they literally used Photoshop to like change the fade and the actual coloring that was going on because it was that like it looked horrible.
Oh yeah, I hated the holographic advertisements. Those were awful, or
I mean,
whatever those.
it looked horrible. It looked like trash.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, I'm doing pretty good, Alex.
Yeah, Evan, how you doing? It's been a bit
Good.
since you've been on the pod, but it's opening day.
It's opening day. It's gonna be 80 degrees in Arlington today. We got Sweet 16 tonight and tomorrow. Doing
Let's
well.
go Spartans. Let's go Spartans.
I don't know if have you checked the DC tickets,
I
Alex?
Yeah, no, I've seen them. They're like 500 bones.
Oh,
Oh my
went down.
God.
When I checked them, they
Oh,
were like 730.
oh,
It's crazy.
Oh,
I just assumed that they were still high. I didn't realize they were that high. Holy
It,
shit.
oh.
let's
he,
see.
he said 500 and then Evan said they went down.
Yeah. No, exactly.
That's
It's
nuts.
Oh, so that means they were high.
Yeah, that's really bad.
like
Well, as Evan checks to see how ridiculous these prices are,
yes,
because first,
727 is the cheapest tickets.
holy shit. Okay.
But both games are really good. Like it's Duke St. John's, UConn, Michigan State. So like two really good matchups, but still not for the Sweet 16. Not even the Elite Eight. Come on, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's pretty ridiculous. But regardless of all of that chaos and everything else, the biggest thing on the plate today, and the biggest thing that should be on the plate of every American and everyone in the world is that baseball is here. The Tampa Bay Rays are here. We are here. It is great vibes. Opening day, the Rays are taking on the St.
Back
Louis
in the
Cardinals.
trop. Oh wait, we're not back in the trop yet. Sorry.
They'll be at the Trop
Oops.
in like a week. So.
In a week, we'll be there.
But yeah, yeah, the Rays are playing the Cardinals first game in a three-game set. Evan, you haven't done this in a while, but you want to give us the pitching matchups before we get into like a full season thing?
I would love to.
Oh my God, what a
Well, oh
vibe.
wow, I didn't realize we started three series on the road.
Yeah, well,
But
yeah, it was just to give them time to get the Trop ready for opening day. That was kind of the biggest thing.
oh, that's right, that's right. But anyway, for the first series, it's Rasmussen versus Matthew Liberatore. So a nice little former Ray matchup there. And then it's hold on. Then it's Joe Boyle versus Michael McGreevy on Saturday because they have that weird day off in the middle on Friday. And then it's Steven Matz versus Dustin May. So
Some
And
interesting
I
there you
matchups.
believe
go.
I believe Joe Boyle's up there because Ryan Pepio had some hip things. So,
Yes,
but he'll be
so
back soon, so it's not too big of a deal.
yeah, so Pepio's on the IL to begin the season, and let's go over the and we are supposed to be having a special guest coming on soon, so he is most likely joining mid pod, so stay tuned for that. But in terms of the opening day roster because there's been some movement. As Gibby already mentioned, Ryan Papio was on the IL to start the season out. I believe it was like hip inflammation. You also had Richie Palacios and Carson Williams both making the roster after being optioned down to Durham due to Gavin Lux going on the IL and also Taylor Walls going on the IL. So I don't know how long those guys are going to be on the IL for. And then Edwin Uceda is also starting the season on the 10-day IL from the issues that he had with his shoulder coming into the year. So some interesting vibes there. But looking at the actual 26-man roster, you have on the pitching side, Brian Baker, Joe Boyle, Garrett Clevenger, Mason Engler, Yoendris Gomez, Griffin Jack, Kevin Kelly, Nick Martinez, Steven Matz, Sugar Shane for the first time since 2023, which is awesome. Drew Rasmussen, Ian Seymour, and Cole Sulser. Catchers, Hunter Fiducia, Nick Fortes. Infielders, Jonathan Aranda, Junior Caminero, Yandy Diaz, Carson Williams, Ben Williamson. And outfielders, Johnny DeLuca, Jake Fraley, Cedric Mullins, Richie Palacios, Chandler Simpson, and Ryan Valade. So that's your 26-man roster for opening day. I will say the biggest omission, at least on my end, is Hunter Biggie didn't make it. And I'm kind of surprised
Oh
by that.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised by that because I know a couple of guys were out of options, but I feel like you go with Biggie because he's shown you some good stuff and you just don't care about the guys who are out of options. But that, I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on the opening day roster and any guys that you think that should have made it or didn't make it?
Yeah, I wonder if there's any like lingering issues with his face injury. Like I don't know. I agree. I think that the Rays kind of have a tendency to do that. They'll prioritize a guy with no options just to keep him in the system
Hmm.
than necessarily talent. I feel like we've done that a couple times. But I guess I don't really have any like over. I mean, wrap Sugar Shane in bubble wrap until next Tuesday, and do not let him throw a baseball. Like he if he's got to be on that mound in Milwaukee next Tuesday.
Well, did you see he
That'll be
got
sick.
hurt?
What is
Did you,
that?
so he was throwing a live in St. Louis and Williamson hit a ball up the middle and hit him.
Oh my goodness. I did
Yeah,
Oh
not
my
see that.
God.
yeah, that was a whole thing. I can pull up the actual because it was like everyone got freaked out because Topkin put something out. I was like, ah, shit. But he said, and I quote, McClanahan hit by a comebacker on lower back during live BP, goes down briefly but gets up and resumes throwing without no apparent issues. McClanahan said he feels fine and that getting hit by a ball is an effing privilege.
Hell yeah. I love that.
Nice.
Oh my God.
Maybe that's his like welcome back to the league moment.
Yeah. It's like, I can take it. Hey, I'm not made out of s- you know, tissue paper. I'm good. I like that. I like that from McClanahan. That's good.
Anyway,
One guy.
my point is
Okay,
valid though.
go
Wrap him
ahead, go
in,
ahead.
no, I was just gonna finish. My point remains valid. Wrap him in butter in bubble wrap
It still
until
does
next
that is
Tuesday.
very valid, but it is good
Mm,
that he can take some hits, It's not like
yeah.
the Hindenburg out there, or something like that.
It's a good
I don't
point.
know.
Yeah.
Uh,
The
never
Hind
forget. Sorry, all those people who died on that point. But
I didn't expect us to have a Hindenburg tribute on here, but hey,
I mean, it was pretty sensitive. I mean, it's a good analogy,
I
Alex.
mean, no, I mean the Titanic too. It's fragile, fragile.
But I mean, there's one guy I'm kind of excited for. It's Richie Palacios because every time he gets on this team, he does really well for a good while, and then he gets his injury, and then he's out. But he always shows that he has promise. So I hope that that happens again, and that he can stay away from injury, just like McClanahan. Uh, but I feel like he's here just to maybe just to start the year. But I hope that he can, stay on the team for a little longer and show that production he's been having when he's healthy. So I'm excited for Richie Palacios. That's one guy. And then, Joe Boyle. We didn't think we were gonna get Joe Boyle in the starting rotation, but now we got him. So I'd like to see if he's improved at all, if he can get back to how he was dealing at the beginning of his MLB tenure. Yeah, I mean those are two of my people to look out for. And then, you have all the mainstays too, Junior Caminero. I'm so excited for him this season. Get back in the trop. I think everybody back in the trop is going to be so much better. So, That's why I'm excited for him.
And similar
100%
with,
agree.
I'm
100%
excited to
agree.
see DeLuca back too.
Oh,
Yeah,
We
I
haven't
DeLuca,
we
was
haven't
yeah.
seen him in a
I
long
was gonna
time,
mention
and
DeLuca.
I think him and Mullins can have a nice platoon.
Oh my God, and Aranda, dude, we didn't have Aranda the whole last season.
Or for a
So
good chunk of last season. I still and now I would need to go back on MLB TV. And also if you guys any T-Mobile subscriber that listens to the podcast, MLB TV is free for the next week or so. So be sure to get your MLB TV for free for the season. I need to go back and watch the game where he got hurt against the Yankees because I keep saying it and I'm like I'm almost positive it's true. He got hurt and it was like a downpour because if you guys remember, Junior had to barehand a ball down the line. Then he threw it right into the pathway of the runner, and Stanton ran right into Aranda's glove hand, which is why he ended up getting hurt. They called, so it was like a pretty much a downpour at that point, and then the umpires waited until after he was hurt, and like 5 minutes later, then they put the tarps on. So like if they would have just put the tarps on
Yeah, I mean,
before
we always
that.
talk about the freaking, yeah, I mean, that was
Yeah,
so
yeah, no,
bad.
I just it always comes to mind because I'm so annoyed by it because Aranda had such a good season last year, like potential for like a top 20 MVP finish, potential for a Silver Slugger award, and then it got stolen away from him. And then immediately when he came back, he was productive. So I'm hoping that he continues that way. Johnny DeLuca, however, I genuinely think that he is an X factor for this team, and I understand that he might not get the same playing time that maybe we expected coming into the year, but I genuinely think that he is someone who deserves significant playing time this season because of what he did last year in a small sample size. He was really, really, really good. I think he posted like a 130 OPS plus. He posted an OPS well above 800, if not closer to 900. He didn't hit a home run because he only played in like 20 games, but I mean, he's shown that the power is there. He's shown that he can hit the ball to the gaps. He's a really good fielder if he can stay healthy, that helps the Rays out so much because last season's and we've already talked about it plenty of times, but last season's outfield configuration was so bad by the end of the season
Mhm.
that if they would have just had DeLuca, that would have provided so much more offense there because like Morel was really bad. Mangum doesn't hit for power. Chandler didn't hit for power. Like I mean, Lowe was perpetually hurt for most of the year. Like they needed someone, and having DeLuca would have changed things last year, and hopefully it'll at least add on to things this year. We already also know that the middle infield duo that we were expecting coming into this season, which I guess was going to be Gavin Lux and Taylor Walls, is now Ben Williamson and Carson Williams. So we got the Williamson duo up the middle. What are your guys' thoughts on both of those, and especially Carson's first opening day start at shortstop?
I mean, he just looks so much better in spring training. I won't put too much on spring training, but he just looks like a way better baseball player. Um, and he's just been way better. I mean, like even in AAA, he wasn't too good last season. I think the spring training he kind of proved that he could be there, and then the pieces just fell around for him. So we get Carson Williams a little bit early, I think, a little earlier than we were supposed to, and I think that's good. I don't doubt that we will see Taylor Walls again. Don't count your I don't know. Don't count it yet, but I think Taylor Walls will be back, but I think this will be a time for Carson Williams to prove himself that he is our shortstop for the future.
Yeah, I agree. Evan, how you feeling about the infield duo and Carson?
yeah, I guess it's more exciting than Taylor Walls for sure, just because we don't know exactly what we're gonna get with Carson, and we kind of know what we're gonna get with Taylor. High upside, obviously, and I don't I really I mean I don't know what to expect from Ben Williamson. That's obviously extremely
Yeah,
frustrating. Luck's already injured. I mean I would say that it'd be nice to have Belau, but Belau it's not like Belau was also the Iron Man of the team either. Like he was injured a lot of the time too. Um, no offense, Alex. Sorry to
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's
uh,
accurate. I mean, he was hurt a lot.
but no, it's exciting. I mean, Carson Williams is kind of like the other than Junior, he's kind of the other guy who I could see us building this team around for the future. I mean, hopefully we sign Junior to a long-term extension, but um, I don't know. He's just kind of the shiny new tool that I'm excited to see in action. And I mean, I know we got to see him a little bit last year, and he played well at some points. Didn't play. He wasn't like very. He wasn't amazing, but that's kind of to be expected. Um, but no, I'm excited. I'm excited to watch them.
For sure, for sure. I think it's a very interesting team. We haven't gotten any sort of a starting lineup for today, and we're recording this on Thursday, opening day. So we haven't gotten any. We have an understanding more or less of what's going to happen. I don't think that we have an understanding yet of the outfield, but in terms of like the infield and the DH situation, I would assume that Fortes is going to get the start at catcher. We already know that Drew's going to be the starting pitcher. Either Aranda or Yandy's going to take up that DH first space spot. We know Williamson and Williams up the middle, and then Junior at third. And it's just the outfield configuration. We don't necessarily know what's going to happen yet, but with Liberatore, who's a lefty on the mound, I would assume that they'll play some sort of a platoon thing to start the season out and then figure everything else out. I will say on Ben Williamson specifically, showed a lot of power in spring training. Like he hasn't necessarily shown that since he was in college, and when he was in college, he was using metal bats and juice baseballs, so kind of inflated everyone's stats. But like the most home runs that he hit in a season was 12 when he was at William and Mary. I believe he hit like five in a season when he was at when he was in the minor leagues. He only had like 50 something plate appearances and he hit three in spring training. Now, I'm not saying that the guys that he's facing are good or bad, but like that's got to be a good sign if someone who only hit one homer all of last year with the Mariners already has three in spring training and has shown more power than he's shown essentially his entire professional career to this point.
Yeah, I mean, what you guys were saying earlier about Kevin Lux being gone, obviously that's I could see what we have in Williamson, and yeah, I mean, he's shown a lot of power. I don't, again, I don't put too much in spring training, but it does look like a good piece for this team. Uh, we'll see how he does at second base, and then we'll see what happens when Mr. Lux is back, you know. But I expect that, Williamson will be a perfectly good enough stopgap for that going forward, honestly.
Yeah, Evan, how weird is it now? It's funny because I expected that Gavin Luxor was going to be the second baseman that the Rays were going to say on opening day. Now it's Ben Williamson, which is even weirder for Brandon Lau. I guess it's kind of the same because I mean, he doesn't have the power, but like he's a guy from Virginia. So like Vilau's a guy from Virginia. So maybe,
There's the continuation,
yeah,
the
there's,
continuity.
well, I was going to say Iran is the continuation because he's number eight now, which like
Oh,
how
I didn't know that. I didn't
yeah,
know
I don't
about
think I
that.
saw that
yeah,
either.
yeah. Aranda's eight, Fiducia's nine. A couple of guys have moved numbers, but Aranda was the big one where he took over Bila, and I'm like, I'm fine with that because Aranda's a stud. So
Yeah, he had like 40 something before or something. I don't know.
Aranda
30.
had what did Aranda have?
I'm so bad at baseball numbers.
He
Yeah.
had a number in the 60s. Didn't he have
Like
62?
He,
62.
he
Yeah,
had he
that's
had
what
a
I saw.
double
Yeah, yeah,
digit. He had double digits for sure.
yeah. Aranda had
Something
62 because
weird.
that was 62 was
Oh
McClanahan's
yeah.
number before he went to 18.
Okay.
That's why I remember 62. Yeah. Yeah. 62 was McClanahan's number. Which is like a whole wild thing. That there's a whole cavalcade in history of numbers that we don't need to get into. But yeah, I maybe there's something there. Probably not, but like it'd be nice if there was a little continuation from in that sort of realm of Bilal being from Virginia and Williamson being from Virginia. Like, neither of them were like crazy power hitters in college. And then
Yeah.
Bilal out of nowhere did it. So maybe Williamson out of nowhere hits like 15 bombs this year and we're in a good spot.
Yeah. I mean, that would be best scenario. Just some more power.
I
I
would,
feel like,
would love
that's
that.
what this team's missing. So
I
a
would
little bit.
I would love that. Are there any storylines that you guys are looking for this year? I feel like the biggest storyline is going to be figuring out the whole new stadium thing, whether that's going to happen, moving back to the Trop and how all that's going to go. But like on the field, I mean, we already pretty much know the pitching staff. We know the guys that are going to be the alts, which is Boyle, who's getting his chance early, and then Seymour, who's in the bullpen to start the season out. We know that the middle infield is going to be kind of a rotating cast of characters, as is the outfield. We know that there's some guys in the minors who have a chance of coming up, but like, is there anything like on the field stuff specifically outside of what's going on with new ownership that you guys are looking for this year? Because I don't necessarily know if this team has the makings of being a playoff team. It could be a sneaky team, but I know that this team definitely has the opportunity to finish above 500.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's so dependent on, just how long we can keep Jonathan Aranda, Junior Caminero, and Yandy Diaz healthy. I mean, that's a pretty spectacular infield, even if you forget the rest of the pieces, which are at this point kind of unknown for us. I mean, it's still a very good infield, though. We're gonna have to rely on those guys a lot. I mean, one thing I'm kind of counting on is the Jonathan, how high Jonathan Aranda gets in this because he was on that kind of last year, and if he just stays the whole year, he can get back to that. I'm certain he all star. I'm certain he'll get there, but I want to see how high he gets in MVP voting, see if he can keep with that. I mean, for most of the year, he was keeping up with like the likes of like Ramirez from the Guardian. Like he was keeping up with Aaron Judge's numbers. Like he was on that level. So he had like above 1,000 OPS. If he can just have that kind of season again, I feel like he's a huge factor on this team. I mean, obviously Junior Caminero is, but those home runs, he's gonna strike out sometimes, and he's not gonna get the home run a lot. And Jonathan Ron is just the guy who's gonna hit above 300. He's gonna hit a lot of home runs, maybe not as much as Junior. He's gonna hit for a lot of hours. So it's just a huge part of this team, I believe. And I think that's one of the we're going forward. And seeing how Yandy Diaz does, is he starting? Is he going to start to regress? I mean, we were kind of seeing it last year, but then the second half of the season, he just picked it all back up like he was regular Yandy. So uh, we'll see how Yandy does if he can still hold, if he can still hold up to his, how he's been doing. I think those are two very important key to this team. And those are two very important stories, at least in like the offensive side of things.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Evan, how are you feeling about like what
Yeah, I
storylines are you
think
looking for?
I think Shane is ginormous. Is I mean, I think his comeback is. I mean, he hasn't pitched in 3 years, or yeah, right, three, two and a
It'll
half
be
years,
my
3 years.
first.
It's been two and
It'll
a
be
half
my
years.
first time seeing him wearing this.
Like that's kind of absurd. So seeing how he bounces back, seeing how he holds up after those two decently large injuries, I think he's not the X factor, but I think he's a ginormous story. I think yeah, Junior. I think Junior and Aranda. I think how they bounce back after having like insanely good breakout seasons last year. I mean, they
Yeah.
really. I mean, two All-Stars. Like I mean, two guys who kind of put their names on the map. I mean, and Junior especially did that this past month too with the WBC. But and I mean, Aranda was great too, but not as great as Junior was. So it'll be really cool to see how they kind of respond to that year last year. Um, and yeah, and the outfield. I mean, I think the outfield is it could be. I don't know. I have no idea how the outfield's going to be. I don't think it's going to be very good, but if it's a 5 out of 10, I think that is good enough to maybe compete for a playoff spot. But if it's anything like the outfield last year, I don't think this team's going to be close to a playoff spot.
Yeah.
So I think the outfielders are. I know this is kind of a is super generic X factor, but that entire position, all of those guys are kind of the X factors, I think.
No, I
And I think
agree.
Jacob Milton should have made the team too, but he'll be up in no time, I think.
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine if all these, I mean, we had like three different guys called up that we thought could have made the team and that did make the team in Carson and I guess two guys. Well, yeah, three guys. Richie, Carson, and Boyle. So all three of those could have made the team. There was just too many guys. So like if they're all making the team early on, then Melton's got a shot of making the team within like the first month and a half of the season. Like I don't really doubt that. by any means. But on top of that, I think it's interesting. You have to look at, a bunch of different factors with this team. So the other thing I think is a big factor is they don't have as many games against the AL East teams, but the AL East itself this season is not, or is more of a gauntlet than it has been in recent years. You still have, what's that, 52 games against teams in the AL East, between, 13 games for all four teams. I mean, it's pretty significant. You have, and all four of those teams are projected to have winning records this year. The Rays are the only team that's projected to not have a winning record and or have a record around 500. Like it's going to be a gauntlet of an ALE schedule, which is why like it sucks on my end because I want the Rays to be a competitive team, but I also realize that this team is probably very much in the middle of the pack and or like at the bottom of the division, in middle of the pack in the American League, bottom of the division in the AL. But like, are you guys expecting them to finish, let's say, any higher than like fifth? And I say that not in a mean way, but like again, the rest of the division's so good and it's gotten so much better. The Blue Jays were literally like 2 feet away from winning the World Series. The Yankees are still the Yankees. The Red Sox, I feel like, have gotten pretty significantly better. The O's added Alonso and a bunch of other guys. I just feel like it's and plus they have, guys have reinforced. It
Yeah.
just feels like such a hard division to crack through this year.
No, I think I would be surprised if we're not dead last in the division. And once again, that's like half me and half the division's just really good. Like I just don't think this team's very good, but also I think that the division is really, really good. Like I think the O's are I don't know if they're getting rated. I don't know if they're getting highly praised like in the media, but I think they're one of the most underrated teams. I think they're going to be so good. I don't know. I think they were good last year. They just had a down year. And then they filled in a lot of holes I mean, their lineup is one of the best lineups in the entire league. Um, and you're right, the Blue Jays got better. I'm not sure how good the Yankees would be. I think I think them and the Red Sox will kind of be a little bit worse than we expect. Um, but I don't know. I would be surprised. I think, what were we last year? 77 and 85? I think
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
be surprised if we're better than that. I think we're going to be a couple games maybe worse. Um, but who knows? I mean, I think I don't know who said it, but I think somebody said that this team reminds me of 2018, the 2018 team, which it does. It's like on paper, it's like not very good, but there could be some surprises. Like I remember Logan Morrison went off that season. Maybe who knows? Maybe Ben Williamson has power. I don't know. I don't know who else could have power on this team, but. Um, I mean, this team's not going to win 90 games like the 2018 team is, but maybe they could surprise some people, but I don't think they're going to.
No, it's interesting. Gibby, how are you feeling about where this team is going to end up in the rest of the AL East?
I mean, I'm definitely interested in watching, but I mean, I'm with you guys on how hard this division is going to be just in general. I mean, like what you said, Toronto was 2 feet away from beating, the evil empire of baseball. Uh, you know, so it's not like that. It's almost super team. And, to go out with the Dodgers and who are spending almost $500 million every year on payroll, it's just going to be an almost impossible task to climb. But I mean, if there's any team that can do it, it's the Rays. But, it's going to take, a lot of things going away. You can't have, the we had in the past with health, how it dwindled to bring guys who, we're not so sure of, and it gets a little messy. That's how it was at the end of last year, it was a little messy with lineups and all that. Not a lot of experience, a lot of injuries. Um, so just, if we just keep, it's all about just health, just keeping healthy. And then, but maybe that won't even, help in this case because, I mean, with the Red Sox, the Orioles, they all got. I mean, Red Sox got a little bit, but not too much. They didn't do too much. But the Yankees still look very good, especially from last night. They looked like they were they're running out the gate. They usually start pretty hot. It's that mid-season really the Yankees, so we'll see how it goes there. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's just gonna be it's an almost impossible task. So I don't predict playoffs, but anything could happen. It could be a 2018 year. No one predicts us for the playoffs. It's always almost an impossibility, except when the order were better than there is but now every team is just good. Every team is basically playoff caliber, except maybe days. So I mean, we'll see. We can get I mean, I won't doubt that there will be three teams in the AL East in the playoffs this year. So I mean, if we can capture that third spot somehow, some way, that's probably our ticket in. But
Yeah.
other than that, I don't see it happening.
No, I completely agree.
It's got to like I think unless this rotation is just gross. Like I think that's kind of the
Yeah, exactly.
I-
That's
if this rotation, which I mean is already injured, but if they can stay healthy and perform better than they did last year, I think they have a chance. But they I think they have to carry because I mean Aranda, Caminero, and Yandy can only do so much. I mean I think they're going to be. I mean they also have to be very very good too. They kind of have to carry the offense. But I mean if we're giving up 3 or 4 runs a game, then we can compete. Obviously, like any other team in the MLB could. But um, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't. I don't think this team really has it. But
yeah.
that's okay.
I would
That's
just
okay.
I
We're
would just
kind of
have to see the bullpen. It's like we're so every time we made the playoffs, we've had just a stellar bullpen, and that's how it always has been. And it wasn't like that last year. It wasn't like that the year before. So I mean, it's always dependent on that. I mean, that's how this team gets in the playoffs. It's our pitching. It's a
Yeah. And the
and
defense.
and defense. And so, I mean, those are some things we've gotten away from the last 2 years. I mean, not that we haven't tried, but it's just we've lost a lot of games to a lot of bad pitches and a lot of
Yeah,
bad defense.
that's very true. That's very true. All right, well, rapid fire the rest of the way. How many wins do you guys think that the Rays are going to have this year? I'll start. I think I said I'll just go 82.
Alex, I'm doing it perfect mid 81, 81.
I'm going 75.
Okay. Uh, Now let's get into our because we haven't done this in a while. Our pick a player and our keys to the series because the Rays have a series coming up. This is beautiful. Let's do quick key, just one key. Evan, starting with you. What's your key to the series against the
What's
Cardinals? Doesn't need to be anything crazy.
It's a good question. That's a good question. I honestly don't know much about the Cardinals. I need to study some Cardinals film in the next
They don't
six
have
hours. But
they don't have Brendan Donovan anymore.
oh, fair. Yeah, that's I got that guy in as my backup second baseman in fantasy. So I gotta
That's a good vibe.
that's my boy. Um, Anybody else want to go first while I think?
I'll go. Just Junior seeing out the freaking gates. If I can just see a Junior home run on opening day, I'll feel pretty good about this team. I feel like, or just like opening series, production from Mr. Junior. Because I mean, he looks so good in the WBC. If he can just keep going like that, I mean, it's hard to bring that mentality to every game, but if he can bring, just 10% of that energy, I think we'd be pretty good.
I agree. I'm gonna go on my end with catching. If catching gets off to a hot start, I think this team is in a good spot.
Yeah,
That's
bottom
all I'll
lineup
say.
for sure. Some
Yeah.
production down there.
And on both sides of the ball too, defensively better than what they were last year, and offensively better because these are two new guys that are in the thing. So to have that is, they need as much as they can on that end. Evan, did you figure out something?
Yeah, innings from starting pitching.
Oh
Let's
yeah,
get some
let's get
longer outings.
6.
I mean Rasmussen, you never know. Who knows with his injury history and his pitch count? I don't know if he's going to be on any restrictions, but let's get 6 out of all of them. Maybe not Boyle. That'd be kind of asking a lot, but hey,
I like it.
let's get 6. Let's get 6 out of Mats and Rasmussen. Also, Matt's revenge game too. We need
Yeah.
to could be a storyline.
Steven Matz looked really good in spring training. Again, let's not
He
put too
did.
much into spring training because Nick Martinez looked horrible, but Matz also looked really good. So you have two sides of the coin there. Who's your players? I'll go first on my end. In solidarity, I will still pick Bilal, even though this is the first time in first season that we haven't had him.
Where are
Uh,
the Pirates? Where are the Pirates this
who
weekend?
knows? I don't even know, but in solidarity, I will still
Oh,
pick.
they play the Mets.
Oh, then yeah, Bilal, five homers, whoever. I'll
Big game.
always pick him in solidarity. We'll do that as like our little thing is, whoever the Pirates are playing, we'll figure it out from there.
Below.
And then
Below.
quickly on my end, so pitching, I'll go Steven Matz. Really excited to see what he can do this season as an actual starter. And then hitter, I'll go with Nick Fortes. I really like I want to see the catchers do well. So Nick Fortes out of the gates. Gibby,
Yeah.
you're up.
All right. Uh, you know what? I'll just go McClanahan for my pitching. How he does. Uh, you know, out at 94. I hope that, goes up as the season goes along. But I'm not putting much, emphasis on that. I think he still has plenty of other pitches that are uh, can work off of that fastball. So he doesn't quite need that velocity yet at the beginning of the year when everyone's, still back getting used to that. So I'll have McClanahan as my starting pitcher, just get enough innings out of him. And then, I already said it, but Junior Caminero, just, bringing any sort of that electricity from the WBC here would be fantastic for this team to start off.
All right. Evan, who you got?
Yeah. I'm going with DeLuca. Kind of talked about him earlier. Just excited to see what he can offer coming out off of not I wouldn't say it was bad. I mean, it wasn't a bad season. It was just an injury depleted season. So I'm excited. I guess, but kind of the center fielder platoon, DeLucas and Mullins, seeing how those guys work together. Both, like Alex said, both offensively and defensively. Like I'm very excited to have Cedric Mullins on our team. More so on the defensive side, just because he does make electric plays out in the field. And then on the pitching side, um, Ian Seymour. I love that guy. I picked that guy so many times. Excited what he can do in what is this, his second season?
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
and kind of as just versatile. He eats up innings, can start games, can be a reliever, can close games. So I'm excited to see what he can do in this opening series.